Welcome to the Pacific Coast in Seattle. The regular season finale is taking place here for the Cool Cup Series and the inaugural race on Seattle Superspeedway. This track is very similar to Daytona and Talladega, with the start-finish line being closer to turn number 1, similar to Talladega, but not like Daytona. If we look at our playoff contenders, starting off pole sitter William Byron. The pole sitters have only led 4 laps this year. That was Kyle Larson at Las Vegas. So William Byron probably not in his favor today. 9 points below the cutoff line, starting first. Denny Hamlin starting third, 5 points below the cutoff line. Very close. He just has to best out his teammate Kyle Busch to take away the spot. Ryan Blaney. Very good all season, 5 points above the cutoff line. Known to be a great super speedway racer, he starts 5th today. Joey Logano is starting 11th, 57 points below the cutoff line. Pretty decent at Talladega, which this track is just like. However, terrible season for him. Kaz Gola is starting 12th. He is not in playoff contention, making his first start today. Kyle Busch starting 13th, 7 points above the cutoff line. His teammate Denny Hamlin is below it, and Busch is going to be battling for a spot in the playoffs. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. starting 14th, 43 points below the cutoff line after a spotter and 15-point deduction after a spotter got suspended for flipping Cole Custer upside down last race at Kansas. Kyle Larson's 22nd, not a very good qualifying for him. Not very good at Super Speedway, 17 points above the cutoff line. Can he maintain that spot? Martin Truex Jr. starting 24th, 14 points below the cutoff line. Chase Elliott, 79 points below the cutoff line. Terrible season for the fan favorite. He is last in points. And Christopher Bell starting 30th, 10 points below the cutoff line. He had a pretty bad Daytona 500 with his car getting on top of another one. Kevin Harvick starting 6th, locked into the playoffs with a win last race at Kansas after getting wrecked out the previous race at Richmond. Well, let's take a look at the point standings. This is very important as this is the last race before we go on to the playoffs. Kurt Busch, Keselowski, Harvick, and LaJoie advanced from wins. Larson, Chastain, Kyle Busch, and Blaney are still in contention for the playoffs. Hamlin and Byron are below the cutoff line. Truex and Bell are also below them, minus 10 and minus 14 points. Well, the season trends, every single winner has been a first-time winner. With this being a super speedway, that could be no different. And the pole sitters combined have only led 4 laps, as I mentioned earlier. This is a Seattle versus Daytona track comparison. The white is the start-finish line. You could see the difference in where it's at. Green flag in the air! Byron gets the lead off of turn number 2. Huge push from Hamlin, exiting 4. Ty Dillon. You could see some 3 wide further back in the pack. They need to go. It's only a 10-lap race. Kyle Busch starting to lose some momentum as we can see a pack that is further back that is trying to avoid any carnage that could happen. The 62, Noah Gragson, already with issues on lap number 3, coming down pit road. It'd be very interesting to see what has happened to that 62. Only his second career start. Oh, crash! Back straightaway, huge wreck. And this was the pack trying to avoid the wreck. Yeah, and I think every single one of those drivers that was in that pack just got involved in this wreck. Michael McDowell's on pit road. Let's take a look at how this happened. Oh, Joey Logano just hits Kyle Busch in the wrong spot. Turns the 18. You can see Bell almost hits the inside wall right there as he gets spun down. Yeah. Busch comes back into the pack. Wallace gets turned by Truex. Then McDowell and Custer. Logano gets clipped right there by McDowell. And Bell spins down the racetrack. So every single driver in this pack has some sort of damage. And this was the pack trying to avoid a wreck. And that is very unfortunate for these guys. At the back of the pack. A huge wreck early on at Seattle. Welcome back to Seattle Superspeedway. The drivers make their way through the tri-oval. The green flag goes back in the air. William Byron comes down the back straightaway. Huge push from Hamlin, but here comes a run from Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon to the lead in 3. Coming through the tri-oval, Ty Dillon is going to lead his first lap in CCS competition. Spin in the front straightaway. 3 cars go around: Truex, Custer, and Todd Gilliland. Let's take a look at how this one happened. Oh. Yeah, these 3 were falling back from the pack, and I think Todd Gilliland just got tight, and he got turned by Truex into the wall, and not very much damage to these cars though, so they will be able to continue. But Truex and Custer, that's their second accident of the day. Very unfortunate for those guys, but not very much damage, and we're gonna restart with 3 laps to go on lap number 8, so it's gonna get very interesting here. Kyle Busch, they've taken his car to the hauler. He is done for the day. Green flag back in the air. Austin Cindric gets a push from Harvick. He's going to take the lead. Now there's some great racing going on behind him. On board with him right here. 3 wide. Here comes Byron to the lead. Huge push from Blaney, and William Byron is going to lead his, I believe, 5th lap of the day. On lap 9, Todd Gilliland blows up. There's a wreck. The big one at Seattle. Huge wreck. Austin Cindric. Almost upside down, and it all started when Christopher Bell got turned by Alex Bowman, and there is carnage everywhere, as you can see. Yeah, and several playoff contenders involved: Truex, Kurt Busch, Hamlin. Alright, this is how it happens. Oh, yeah. And then Bowman right here gets into Bell, and then look at the hit from Austin Dillon, and then Austin Cindric goes over. Yeah, Bell comes back down into the pack. Look at Brad Keselowski right here. He just barely gets through it. Kurt Busch was spinning out in front of him. And then Allmendinger could have gotten through it, but then Hamlin clipped him and turned him right into the 48. Hard hit. And watch Eric Almirola. Eric Almirola, not very much damage to his car. He just spun out. But Austin Cindric with quite the ride. He went over the 48 of Alex Bowman. Look here. He gets propelled by the 3 and then over the 48. Yeah, that's some great wreck avoidance by the 6 car, though. Look at that. Kurt Busch is spinning out right in front of him. And, wow, he just barely got through there. Under the red flag right now, we're going to go into NASCAR overtime. It's a 2-lap shootout. The caution before the white makes another attempt. And we will do unlimited attempts. Well, May 29th, it's the first race of the playoffs at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Memorial Day, Monday. Catch it on CCS. Well, while the cleanup continues, we're going to take you to a break. You're not going to miss a thing. We'll be back for the restart. Welcome back to Seattle as the green flag flies back in the air for overtime. Byron gets a better jump. He blocks Blaney, though. Now Jones to the lead in 3. Big push from Larson. Now Stenhouse looking high. Jones blocks that move. Final lap from Seattle. Stenhouse looks inside. Here they come down the back straightaway. Will Ty Dillon try to make a run? Here they come. Stenhouse with a spotter suspended. No! Hard crash. Upside down goes the 47. That could have been because he didn't have a spotter. But Blaney is going to take the win. And Stenhouse with a substitute spotter. That could have been what caused that wreck. But here is the playoffs. With Ryan Blaney taking the win, that locks him in. Kurt Busch, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain, William Byron picks up the final transfer spot. Brad Keselowski, Corey LaJoie, and Kevin Harvick. That is what the playoff standings will look like going into Charlotte. But a great race today. Tune in next time for Charlotte. This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized consent of CCS Broadcasting. CCS would like to thank all of our viewers for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.